about Bibi. What Israelis call their prime minister stepping out today one more time.
Here comes Benjamin Netanyahu, absolutely surrounded by security, pushing and shoving, media trying to get their pictures of this rare campaign event in a Jerusalem market. We are being shoved pretty aggressively. Whoa!
He is the most recognized political face of Israel, but after more than a decade, he's vulnerable. And the tensions at campaign stop signal this is a very tight race. He's a criminal, the man yells. He's going to prison. Drowned out by ardent supporters. He's our father, our savior, the king of the world. Who else can speak with Putin, with China? Only him. Here, see, he's the king.
The choice, according to Netanyahu, is between a strong right or a weak left. But it's much more nuanced. Right after this vote, he faces potential indictment for alleged corruption, which is complicating the big ballot question here. Is Netanyahu's time finally up?
These 18 and 19-year-olds have really only known one prime minister. They're enrolled in a Bina gap year program before they go into compulsory military service. And on Tuesday, they'll vote for the first time.
I think we've gotten to a point where we're scared to be hopeful for the future of Israel in a lot of topics.
Why do you blame Netanyahu for that?
Him being a constant through the past decade and where our country has gotten to. In regards to like the Palestinians, people don't talk about peace anymore. They talk about like how to calm things down for now. And that sucks.
I want to have an administration that has hope for peace, that's making strides for that, that is transparent about its strides for that. I want to see the hate cease on all fronts. I want there to be an atmosphere where we can hear each other out. And the current Prime Minister does not foster that kind of atmosphere.
But the youth vote is not uniform. Many young Israelis are leaning right. For Gilad, security is a key issue.
I don't feel entirely safe. Like, also my brother lives on the border with Gaza, very close, and he has, a lot of times when there's rockets, he has to go somewhere else. So I believe that a new person will bring more security.
In the last 2 weeks, more tanks have moved closer again to Gaza. The Prime Minister is under pressure for both too little and too much force in a year of protests and retaliation.
Thank you, Mr. President.
He had to cut short his visit with President Trump recently, an election boost because of an attack at home. A rocket struck this home in a residential area well north of Tel Aviv. The strike went directly through a tiled roof into the center of the house where the Wolf family was sleeping.
This is where Sue was when she got hit.
Robert Wolf was roused out of his bed by his son when a siren sounded.
An almighty explosion took place, and I went like this, and my whole home was in the air. The house was in the air. All these tiles that you see everywhere, they were in the air. And for at least 20, 25 seconds, I can't put a timing on it, I was absolutely sure in my mind my whole family were dead. I ran into the mess. I found my wife on the floor, blood all over the place.
She survived with shrapnel wounds, as did his entire family.
I don't want to think about it. It was the night of miracles, really.
He is convinced Hamas fired the rocket randomly.
Why were we hit? Because we're Israelis. Because we're Jews, because this is our homeland and there's a lot of people who don't want us here.
So you're going to rebuild here?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no question about it.
He won't say how he'll vote in this election, but urges all Israelis to carefully consider their choice.
I will say, I would love to see a change of attitude, a change of action, because we have to change something, because it's not working.
If change comes, Benjamin Gantz will be part of it. He is chasing Netanyahu hard as one of the leaders of a new centrist party, Blue and White, created just in advance of this election. Gantz used to be military chief of staff during Netanyahu's government. Now, polls show the two parties nearly tied with a slight edge to blue and white. But in the last decade, Israel has moved solidly to the right, and Netanyahu is trying to knit together another right-wing coalition. Now going as far as to promise he would annex Jewish settlements in the occupied West Bank. Watching all this carefully are Palestinians in Gaza. Tensions are rising internally, salaries falling, and few expect Hamas or a new Knesset is ready for a resolution. The night after the rocket attack, the Israeli Defense Force hit what it says were multiple Hamas targets in Gaza, including an apartment block where Jamal Arazi says his brother lived and got out.
Do you think the election in Israel will make any difference here in Gaza?
The only difference can make is to speed up the deterioration of the situation around us. This is what looks like the plan of the Zionism, the Israelis.
I rap for politics.
Young Palestinians like Mahmoud Salman are growing more desperate.
So do you write a lot?
Yes, I write a lot. I kill all my pressure with rap.
He raps about politics, social issues, what he feels. At 28, he's never been outside Gaza, wants desperately to leave. He sings, "Give me a visa with no return."
You can't see any good future with any Israeli government. I can't imagine.
If Likud triumphs again, Netanyahu could become Israel's longest-serving prime minister. And for Gabriel Libjou, a Canadian Israeli, that's just fine.
Everybody's here to support Bibi. All Jerusalem, maybe not Tel Aviv, but Jerusalem, we're all for Bibi because he's the real man. He's the real man. There's nothing about it. No doubt about it.
But Bibi would have to convince a coalition of smaller parties, and Israel is always primed for election surprises. Susan Ormiston, CBC News, Jerusalem.